5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
What's up? Happy Monday, guys. It is your favorite day of the week only because of Monday Night Lights. Bremont here with an awesome roundup of guests. I'm so excited for this one next to me. I actually got the pointing right. Danny Gibson from Parks and the PTHA is here. We've got yours truly down there, Dennis and Matthew as well. Quick introductions. Danny, how are you doing? And thank you so much for letting us just rope you and pull you in. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome. I'm coming off our Derby high, and we were back racing today. We had 10 races at Parks, and everybody's still kind of reeling from the energy. Shattered our record, 18 million, which is unreal.
Yeah.
And everybody said
Crazy.
like the best cards in Parks racing history. He's any Philadelphia Park it was in Keystone. I mean, we just killed it. So I think everybody's feeling really proud and excited.
Yes, round of applause for Parks, for your entire team, for the Pennsylvania Horsemen. I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park, and it was really cool. I think you had said, watch out for the local horsemen, and it's true. Like, the local horsemen definitely did not, shy away from the imposters whatsoever. So it was awesome to see trainers, local jocks, local horses compete and win a lot of those races. So, I mean, kudos to your team. It was a fun day to watch from home for me. A little jealous because I know Diagonal, wherever it is down there, was able to go. Matt, how was it?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better weather. 70 degrees, sunny, and it was packed. It was great to see everybody there. It was great to see a bunch of people out at the track. Hashtag racing is not dead. And it was a special day. And to your point, to Danny's point, a lot of great local connections. Cash is King is a big ownership group that had a big day. You saw a lot of the trainers, whether that be Butch Reed or John Service, have winners. So it was great to see those local connections. As a native Pennsylvanian, always proud to see my home state show out on a big day.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis, were you watching from home like I was?
No, I was watching from Churchill, but still close enough to home.
All right.
It was actually a really good day of racing. I thought it was tough fields all across the board. With honestly, probably the best of the second tier horses. Which no disrespect to the second tier horses, but
no disrespect. Hashtag.
Well, no, it's not. It's not Epicenter. That's what I meant.
Right. It was just minus Epicenter. They had everybody else. I mean, that was the thing.
I mean.
It was everybody else. So, no, it was a great card, and it was a great day for Gun Runner. And and we were there for obviously Society and Taba winning, and so it was. I mentioned on the Stable Duel video you put together, Bree, I always bet a Gun Runner. I just bet the wrong one. And so I put it on Cyberknife. But my general thought process was quite right on Saturday. If everybody bet on Gun Runner.
50% on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, a hell of a day for Gun Runner in general, even at other racetracks. It was like a complete cleanup. Huge day. We're not going to see many Gun Runners tonight at Assiniboia Downs, but that's okay. That's okay. There's still an awesome field and awesome races, as always, in Monday night. There is a stakes race in race 4, so we're definitely going to be scattered across your screen until race 4. But you probably have about 5-10 minutes, I think, to get your stable stat in the Stable Duel app. $10 entry, $2,000 guarantee. People are tuning in. What's up, In? I'm glad that you're here in the house. We always love tuning in. We've got Keith here as well. Hey, Keith, thanks for coming. And Colin, this is another one of our video pickers as well. Savage Love. I do like Savage Love, and I still like that song, even though it's completely overplayed. Yes. Okay, well, let's do this. So since we have, I think, let's see, I've got to log into my TV. I'm a TVG, so I got to log into my TVG. See how many minutes we got.
So I got 9 minutes to post.
Perfect. 9 minutes to post. So this is the first time we're roping Danny into this. So Danny, if it's 9 minutes, it's kind of like a Charlestown, not as bad. Like 9 minutes means they're like, they hit the track at some point. So we've got time. But in the game, you were locking pretty shortly. So get your stables in. $10 entry, $2,000 guaranteed. This is going to be fun. Even Dennis is playing this one. So
yeah.
Round of
I
applause.
know I'm venturing out there, trying something different.
Right. You got it. It's funny, Dennis. I was sitting there on Pennsylvania Derby Day, and I'm a very conservative player, generally speaking. And so I'll play a lot, but I play lower dollar games. And so I had my 2 stables in the $5 Parks game, and I went to the paddock for the first race. I saw the 9 who ended up winning, and I said, "This is a really good horse." And I said, "I'm going to put, I'm going to put everything. I'm going to
something big. He's going to be."
Yeah, he's going to be really good. And so I decided at the last second to put in 2 $50 stable or, ed contests. Ended up hitting the money in both of them. So, you got to, it's one of those things. The more money you put in, the more money you get back. So that's why you got to step up from those free contests. You'll start making some more money now. Promise.
Okay, what about losing the money?
And we will reintroduce Danny in a second. Let's just talk about race 1 before this goes down. So it's 7.5 furlongs, allowance, optional claiming $10,000. Matt, repeat what we were talking about before we went live. So this is the last week, which is why Monday Night Lights, this is the last one. But for the entire meet, obviously Matthew and his dad has been paying attention. So Matt would like to drop some bit of knowledge. So tell us about Assiniboia Downs from start to finish.
Well, first of all, Big Tony's running on Wednesday. So the DeSantis family is going to be excited about that. That's our favorite local horse up there, Danny. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting. So at Assiniboia, because they don't run very often, they start the meet off at these very short sprints. Everything's 5.5, maybe 6 furlongs at most. And you get accustomed to seeing over the first few weeks the same horses kind of running again and again and again at this distance of 5 to 6 furlongs. Well, as the meet progresses, the length of the races starts to be extended. And so suddenly a 6 furlong race becomes 7 furlongs. Suddenly these races now become a mile and an eighth we've even seen in some of the stakes races. So horses that you may have used in Stable Duel and really liked early in the meet, who maybe got you wins at 5.5, 6 furlongs, they've not progressed necessarily in terms of liking that extra distance. So it's important to keep that in mind, not always to use the same horse that you've used in the beginning of the meet. Oh, I love that horse that won me before. It might not win you this time anymore. And maybe that horse that was a long shot that you didn't really like that finished well back in a sprint, that's the horse that's going to love the extra ground. So I have to do a little bit of homework and dig back through those running lines sometimes a year or two to see the last time these horses went this distance.
No, definitely makes a lot of sense. And I'm sticking by my first race choice. I just saw him in the paddock on TV, and he looks good.
Yes. So who is your first race choice? Is this are you going to share it with us?
Yeah, the number 3.
Okay.
Number 3. So you're going for Ain't She Darlin'.
Yep.
That Dennis, this is a horse that you need to say.
Yeah, with Dennis.
This is a Dennis accent right here. Say it, Dennis. How would you say the number 3 horse?
Ain't She Darlin'? I mean,
I
don't know why it's my accent though, but I guess.
I like it. Okay, so Danny's on the 3 horse. What put you on this one, Danny?
I don't have the PPs in front of me at the moment, but to me, I believe that one had, I just like the numbers coming into the race and the consistency. And I like the way it looked in the paddock. So I'm a little bit inept because I don't have the PPs in front of me currently because I didn't know I was doing this. So
I know we did. We roped her on and she looked and she handicapped the card really fast and she's on her phone. So we're putting her on the spot and we're going to have her still call a race. We got prepared for that.
I wrote the names, but I don't have to give you, a really good reason of why I'm going with the 3. But I
will say the 3's dropping down in class pretty significantly. I mean, she's been running stakes races, and so this is a little bit of a class drop. And Danny, to your point, she's been very consistent. In terms of a lot of underneath finishes, but obviously with this, stepping down in class, you'd think, she could get up there. So it makes sense.
Obviously I tried to take some risks here going against the 4. Obviously, the 4 is the horse to beat. We all know that.
The interesting thing about the 4, though, is one last time out by 8 lengths, but it wasn't an allowance optional claimer 10,000. This horse really hasn't stepped out of that degree, 10,000 optional claimers where some of the other ones were. So Ain't She Darlin' has been in stakes races the last 4 or 5 back. You've got an allowance 20,000 from the 2 horse. You've got, so I think the 4 could get beat, guys. I know it's 8 lengths, but it's in a $10,000 allowance optional claimer where other ones have had some different kind of experiences, including Savage Love, allowance optional claimer, 15,000.
What's the distance of this race?
7.5 furlongs.
Really good. The 1 looks really good.
Appeal.
Fox Appeal does look. Yeah, if this is again, people maybe just tuning in the first time. 7.5 furlongs is going to be 2 turns here. It's kind of like Charlestown, if you've played that track before. So it's going to be 2 turns, 7 furlongs. It's not a 1-turn race. So,
Danny, you just got called a ninja by Jacob. I like it. And then In asked a question. Yes, we will do live streams. Keeneland is coming up, which obviously is a huge, just deal. We love the racetrack at Keeneland. We'll probably do some live streams, maybe the nights before. We'll keep in front of you I promise. So we've got, we got 2 minutes to post, which probably means about 5. You probably have 2 minutes to get your stables in, guys. So again, $10 to enter, $2,000 guaranteed. You're up against, it was like 150 the second, a couple of times ago, 150 different stables, which is awesome. This makes it really fun. Matt, how many did you create tonight?
I just did 2 tonight. Try to keep within my budget, but I very conservative player. But yeah, I did my 2. I also find that if I start to do more than that, then I start to end up with way too many variations for me to keep track of, like throughout the night. And I'm like, oh, did I have the 4? And then I'm like rooting for and against horses in the same race.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So
then there's a lot of the shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? Where it's like, oh, well, I thought about this one and this one, and I should have gone here. And I hate that feeling. I think you got to stick to your convictions, move on, maybe learn from it, maybe. But next race, that's what it's about.
I learned a lesson at the Kentucky Derby. I bet against myself a ton. I wanted all the action, and it out good.
So you didn't have Rich Strike?
No. And you know what stinks? How easy would that have been? Sonny Leone is the only jockey that ever rode at Parks that actually really knew.
Oh, you could have had a heart bet. Oh, yeah.
Earlier on Twitter, he was like, oh, I'm riding the Derby. And I was like, Sonny, we all believe in you. We're so excited for you. And in the press conference, he's like, I remember you told me that you told
Oh, that's really sweet.
It was nice, but I was like, I didn't think you could really do it. But, it was all.
That's great. All right. So Sean just said that he likes the Fox Appeal. I agree. Number 5 is good value for $250 if you can run 4th or better. Obviously a shorter field here, so expect some stable dual players to potentially double, even triple up in this race. And since we've got a bunch of people here, stick with us after this race. Maybe we'll do our first giveaway. Maybe we'll do 2 giveaways since it's our last one. So I've got 1 more hat and I've got t-shirts. So after this race, stick with us and give us your pick for race 2. I'll call it out. And then we'll pick 1 person for the first giveaway winner. So Danny, you're doing this race call. Is that right?
I was going to do number 3. That's the one I wrote.
That's fine. All right. So Danny's doing number 3. I'm not prepared, so it's up for one of you 2. Who wants to call the first race?
You want me to take the first one, Dennis?
I mean, it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, I'll do the first one. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Matt, you got it.
Yeah. Dennis, you can take the second, and that gives Bree the that'll give Bree the whatchamacallit, the stakes race in the 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to go back and relook at the PPs here, so you're not setting me up for failure. So, okay,
I don't know.
7 horses and 5.5 furlongs. Oh wait, no, that's the one Danny's doing here. Stakes race, of course. I'm doing a mile with 8. Okay, all right.
8 horses. No, that's all right. That's all right. 8 horses.
Okay.
Plenty to talk about.
If I lose one, it's happened before. They reappear eventually. It's fine.
It's like a child you lost. Oh, where'd little Timmy go? Oh well.
Don't you remember that, Dennis? I like lost the 5 horse. It was
Yeah, you
like
lost
in
the 5.
between 2, and I literally couldn't see it, and I was like, I think the 5's gone somewhere else.
That's funny. Or I'll be like, sorry, I'm the race caller now because I did a great job calling Assinoba Downs or whatever it's called.
Assiniboia.
Assiniboia.
You can call it Ass Downs. Plenty of people do that. They know what you're talking about. It's fine.
I do. Yeah. No, but it's an interesting race, from a money standpoint. Obviously, some money's coming on Fox Appeal. Morning line 4-1, now 7-2. The favorite is actually not getting bet all that heavier than what you'd expect. Started at even money, is now 6-5. The horse that's actually taken money is the 20-1 long shot that Sean mentioned. What started at 20-1 is now 10-1. So that horse has taken a little bit of action. I think 20-1 was. I agree. From a stable duel standpoint, it was a very good horse to use potentially for only $250. Horse has talent too. It's not as if it's just some random long shot. And then Savage Love is getting a little bit of action. Started at 5-1, is now at 9-2. On the line. So,
and I remember we were talking about Barefoot Dancer, and it was between that horse and another one in the race. And now here we are looking at it at 20-1 morning line odds. Like, again, that's kind of the beauty of this racetrack is sometimes you look at them and it's like the shorter price that you need to pick. And then eventually by the end, whatever has happened the entire meet, it's changed. And Barefoot Dancer, it's kind of what's happened. So it'll be interesting to see what this filly does here.
I like favorite the least looking at them. I'm watching it on TV. I would like just based on looks, the 4 looks like the worst, which is crazy.
Well, and that's the thing with the 4. Last time on DRF, it says ran a 73 buyer, and I don't really love buyer numbers, but everything else besides that 73 was really on par with the rest of the field.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, Jacob, in this one.
That's it.
Yeah. And Danny, one of these days, maybe tomorrow, just tune into Assiniboia with the sound on, because that's the other thing that you have to witness.
Oh yeah,
it is special. It is just special.
They do an awesome job of sound effects. Like it's almost like you're playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of that, and then the track announcer is like the most enthusiastic man in the world, and I absolutely love it. And I say that with all respect to that guy. So they're loading them in here at Assiniboia. I believe we have the first 4 or 5 loaded in. I think we are still waiting on Barefoot Dancer and Savage Love from the outside, and this is. Again, just to remind everyone, we are going 7.5 furlongs, optional claimer 10. And looks like they're pretty much loaded in, working on getting Savage Love in. And they're off. Savage Love breaks pretty far to the outside, but otherwise pretty even start. The 3, Ain't She Darlin', falls back a little bit, and going to the lead is the favorite, Dixie Mo. And now going up to join her on the outside is both Aramon, the number 2 horse, and Ain't She Darlin', the 3 horse. Going around the first turn, it is Dixie Mo taking the lead, followed by Ain't She Darlin', followed by Aramon on the outside, Fox Appeal on the inside, Barefoot Dancer and Savage Love towards the back of the field. The opening quarter in 24-2. And Dicey Mo continuing now as they going down the back stretch. Ain't She Darlin' attached to her hip, followed by Fox Appeal on the rail. A little further out is Aramon, then Savage Love, followed by Barefoot Dancer. And they're now going into the far turn. Dixie Mo running in circles here. Starts to pull away from Ain't She Darlin' a little bit. Now Fox Appeal on the outside is making a little bit of a run, followed by Savage Love. The 2 and the 5 are dropping back, Aramon and Barefoot Dancer. As they reach the top of the stretch, Dixie Mo takes them down there, and we still have Ain't She Darlin' battling on the inside, but Fox Appeal on the outside is trying to make a bid. Savage Love is coming down the track, but it looks like the favorite's got this one put away. Dicey Mo is going to get this one by about 2 lengths, maybe 3 lengths at the end. It's a photo For second, looks like Ain't She Darlin' nosed out Fox Appeal, followed by Savage Love.
So you changed one of the horses' name, but I like your name better.
Which horse did I
Yeah.
change?
Dixie
winner.
Mo to Dicey.
Oh,
Dixie went Dicey.
that's funny. So what's funny about that is, did I? Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking Dicey Mochar is the problem, and so
Yeah.
that's the horse I was thinking of the whole time. Yeah.
I could see that. Well,
Yeah.
wow. I've never seen anything quite like that, honestly. That's awesome. Mine never switched leads, the 3. She never.
Yeah.
switched
It looks like my horse and your horse. Dana was just running in quicksand at that point.
leads.
But
That's like,
it's just a testament to how good the 4-horse was that race.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one came around the bend and definitely thought that it was going to have more gas, but just as soon as it got to the top of the lane, it kind of puttered out, and everybody kind of kept their positions except Dixie Mo.
Yep.
How does
Yep.
it play? Because I really don't. How does it usually play? Is it favoring speed horses or?
So I actually have a stat. Funny that you ask. So Sarah from HRN
Yep.
has been awesome for statistics, and Horse Racing Nation has a whole lot of different stats. And so you got post positions, right? That's what the angle is for her, Matthew. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Post
Inside
positions
post
are a
positions.
big thing.
Yeah, so especially in these route races, inside post positions tend to be really big. Tend to see a lot of winners coming from that 1 through 3 slot. And then you see the different type of runners there. And this was early on in the meet. These numbers have only gotten more entrenched as the meet has gone on. But breaking to the far outside is a little bit of a problem, which is something I kept in mind for a couple of races later on. There's a race, I think actually the last race on the card is a 2-turn race. I really like the 8, but I had remembered this graphic and decided not to use that horse. But yeah,
That horse second, because I didn't know that, but I'm glad I used that horse second instead of to win. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the sprints too. So same thing. You're looking.
yeah,
And the real difference teller there is just the number of races of routes and sprints.
yeah.
And those route numbers were earlier in the meet, and so they really hadn't even started running many of them. Now I think now they're up. There's a better N, so to speak. There's a better number of races, but that inside post is definitely something. If there's a bias there, it's that.
So Cindy is our Manitoba resident that tunes in. So hi to Cindy. Thanks for tuning back in. Cindy, she actually won the giveaway last time, which the rule was no Canadians, but the track is going to send Cindy some swag. So everybody still wins here. So that's awesome.
Very sweet.
Yes.
Nice.
So thanks for coming back, Cindy. We love that. All right. So race 1. So again, the favorite one here. So pretty expensive for stable dual players, but thankfully paid off for anyone that picked. And I can actually look, we can look at and see how many players picked that horse. So race 1. So 38 players, 26% had Dixie Mo and paid $10,000, which is kind of almost 2 average horses in the stable dual cost. So a hefty price, but it definitely paid off for them here. Ain't She Darlin', the 3 horse, cost $8,000 for players. 1 Fox Appeal. So it's pretty much 10, 8, 7. They finished per their prices in this race, and then Savage Love was 6. So pretty much the odds maker got it correct in this one. So well done to the odds maker. Had the 1 for third to start. There you go, Keith. So putting points on the board, that's all that matters in the Stable Duel app.
Yep.
So good job to players that put points on the board. Matt, who'd you have in the first race?
I had the 1 in one race and the 6 in the other. So I had the Fox Appeal or Savage Love in those 2. I just, it's one of those where there's, as we get further in the card, there are a few other races with $10,000+ horses, and you can't buy them all. You can't use them all. And so this was one where I think, we all kind of were in agreement. I just wasn't necessarily sold on the 4. I thought maybe there would be a bounce because, as Dennis pointed out, those are career high buyers last time out. Never ran anything close to that before. I thought maybe there'll be a little of a letdown, but apparently not. So, one of those things. But I feel good about a couple of the horses I spent up on later. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right. In has asked twice now. So Danny Gibson works at Parks Racetrack and with the Horsemen's group there, the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. She is on Twitter. Her Twitter, if you've seen my tweets in, you'll see that I've tagged her in a bunch of things. I think if you type in Danny Gibson, you'll find her as well. What is your Twitter
At Danielle, at Danny Gibson, Gibzo15. I gotta fix that. I think
Here,
Danny
hold on, I got it right here. So at Danny
Gibzo15, I think is what it is.
Gibzo15.
Yeah, and I'm the public relations director for the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horses Association, and I host a TV show that's on Saturday locally here called Let's Go Racing with Dick Girardi, who's kind of a Philly sports legend. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Love Dick Girardi. I grew up reading his stuff. You know, so that's awesome.
Hold on, we're correcting this. It's Danielle.
Oh, it is Danielle Gibson.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. There he goes. We got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so give Danny a follow for sure. Also give the PT, I can put this in a banner. I think I had it the other day. Give the PT, here we go. Get up there. Get up there. There we go. Follow PTHA17. That's where you're going to find race replays. You'll find the stretch runs. You'll find videos of the horses in the paddock, like almost literally every single race, every single day. The PTHA is so underrated to follow on Twitter. I can tell you, if you play parks or pay attention to Pennsylvania racing, you've got to follow this account because it's all the content that everyone wishes they had. So
we give you out a lot. And if trainers tell me their horse can't be beat, I'll tell people. I don't know. Curse is a really good TikTok dance, but I'll give it a try. I did my first TikTok with Bree actually last week, Stable Duel. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
I can tell you, if you said to me earlier you're not vain, don't be vain, because I did my first dancing TikTok and it was literally horrible, and it's still up. It's still there. It's still there, unfortunately.
Wow.
So it's fun. All right, well, let's cut over to race 2, and then everyone that's tuning in, I'm going to have you drop your picks. Not yet. Don't do it. I'm not paying attention, but I'll have you drop your picks, and we'll do a giveaway, and somebody can win a shirt and a hat, or just a shirt. I'm not really sure. I'll pick shortly.
Yeah,
so race 2 is an allowance optional claiming $15,000, a mile. This is for Manitoba bred, which is always fun. You can see some of the similar connections through some of these races. And we're looking at a 6-horse field here. Number 1, Courageous, 2 Gold Special, 3 Texas Rain. I kind of like Texas Rain, I'm not going to lie. 4 Monstradamus, 5 House Limit, and 6 G's Turn. Dennis, let's start with you.
Well, the 6 is scratched, by the way.
6 is out? Okay, 6. So we're 5-horse fields here. Which is, kind of fun for Stable Duel. So who do you like in this race, Dennis?
Okay, so this is the first time I ever even tried to do a triple up. I tripled up on the 5-horse House Limit, who was 4-1 morning line, and currently is the 6-5 favorite. Off the claim, ran in for allowance optional 18,000. Ran a good second place finish. Had an inside trip and got up for second, just barely. But I think could be an improving horse here. You claim a horse towards the end of the meet. You have nowhere really to go with the horse after 1 or 2 starts. I think this horse is going to be a win and try to get claimed. Then I also used the 1 and the 2 because they was both cheap. I don't like them, but I'm going to get points either way, I think, unless one of them get beat by 40 lengths. So,
well, I think the 5, I think you're right. I mean, in added distance, so 6 furlongs in its last race, went from 5th to 4th to 2nd. And then even in the race prior to that, you had a 7 furlong race, and it still was a bit of a closer per se, if we're talking about these style of races at Assiniboia Downs. So went from 3rd to 1st and then held on and won by 5.5. So something to note there on the 5. Matthew, what do you think? Who's your winner in race 2?
Yeah, so in race 2, I really also like the 3 Texas Rain quite a bit at 6-1. This is a little bit more of a value play for me and a Stable Duel play. This is a horse that's 6 for 7 in the money at this distance. I think you're getting 6-1 in the morning line. It's only going to cost you $5,000, which is your average stable duel cost. So I'm okay getting a second place in this race. Like I'm okay just getting 38 points or something like that, because that's a good ROI for spending $5,000 from your budget standpoint for a winning stable. So I just think that made a lot of sense. And this is a horse I remember it must have been a couple live streams back, because I still have notes in my DRF of this horse, like, 3 races back and commenting on it. And so I just think this is a good value for a horse that is extremely consistent at this distance.
So this is like throwing me under the bus here on how much I paid attention. But so Keith pointed out Texas Rain is the mare against the boys in this one. So that's something cool to note. I really like Texas Rain as well. I think it's a great pick in the Stable Duel app for $5,000. Has been hella bet down. It was 6-5, but I think now it's sitting at 2-1. So, if you're betting with your traditional ADW and you like that horse, you are getting 2-1 here. You're not getting the 6-1 morning line. Could be scratched. You see where money goes here. Danny, are you looking at the paddock? Who do you like in the paddock?
I'm going with the number 5 too. House Limit, I believe his name is. And I like the closing factor. I think he's going to run them down. I can't see them in the paddock yet. Woodbine's on now on my TV. So, and I'm a little limited because I don't have the PPs and I don't have the in-house feed up, but I like the 5 when I handicap the card with DRF.
Colin's on Texas Rain as well as long as a bunch of other players. So yeah, I mean, so one, like there's some big drops, I guess, but it just can't seem to win. That horse just doesn't. Needs to be an inventor. And then 2 could be decent value for the 2 horse. It was 25-1. So obviously you're getting a next to nothing price, which you are going to have to do tonight in the Stable Duel app for sure. Even though there's 8 races besides 7, you're still doubling up in some. And I think Dennis, you just said you tripled up in this race. Is that right?
Yeah, I normally don't like doing it, but I was like the 1 and 2 are too cheap to not use and not include, especially if one of them can sneak in there and get third, then it'd be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the race to do it, right? There's 5 horses. This is the race to kind of at least double up, if not triple up. And, I even saw somebody, because Parks was off turf today, I even saw somebody in the Parks race quadruple up in a couple races and just go with, because it was basically a 4-horse field. And so they just went with everybody. That's one of those strategies. And I think it's, the favorite is a very good horse, the 4, but I will say there's a jockey change there. You've gone from Carreno, who's the number 1 jockey up at Assiniboia, and now you go to Cumberbatch, who's a very good jockey in his own right. But that's always something I kind of pay attention to, and I'm like, we're off the top jockey on the circuit to a secondary jockey. I don't know if Carreno is serving a suspension or what, but I didn't see him on the card at all today.
He was riding yesterday at Remington in the Oklahoma Derby, so he could be still down there partying. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe the Canadians wouldn't let an Oklahoma visitor back in one day.
I know they're supposedly loosening things up there, but maybe not yet. So, yeah.
All right, guys, I see you all viewing. Please drop who you're picking for race 2, and we'll do a giveaway. All you've got to do, whether it's in Stable Duel or if you're betting on the side on your ADW, just pick who you like in race 2 at Assiniboia Downs, and we will do the wheel of names on that free website with all the ads, and we'll pick one person, and we'll do a hat and a shirt, and then we'll give one more shirt away before we hop off this. So Sean's on the 4 here, Monstradamus, Speed Fig, improved last 3 races, Cumberbatch, Wendy Anderson, good jockey trainer combo. I'm glad that I was translating that like that.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
I
bag.
like the 4. That was my second choice. The 4 was my second choice.
Oh, Colin's already picking his shirt, so he's confident that he's going to win this one. Confident.
Love it.
Yeah, so this is so early on in the Stable Duel app, and we'll see, you're probably going to see a bunch of ties here because that's just how it works. And actually not that bad. Yeah, there's a bunch of ties for 8th place in 2026. We'll start to break up as race 2 goes on. But I think it'll really start to pull apart race 3, 4. Those are when the fields get a little bit heavier. And again, people are going to have sort of the same thought process on doubling up in these shorter fields, which, yes, can be a good strategy. But also sometimes you've got to have a different strategy than what everybody else has to potentially win in these tournament contest formats. So it will be interesting to see how this breaks up. So in is on the 5 house limit. And then we've got Beggs. Oh, we got a big winner in the house. Beggs won the Pennsylvania Derby contest in the Stable Duel app. So everybody give a clap. Nice job, Beggsy.
That's awesome.
So doubled up with the 1 and 5 in Stable Duel. Good luck. And so Cindy's on the 2 here. Okay. 6 minutes. All right. So they're in the paddock. So Danny, you tell us when you see the paddock and you give us your paddock pick. Best turned out, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we're still on Yonkers over here, but I feel like resource for the Parks players. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it was a big game. Like competition was stiff in both the $5 and the $50 contest. Over 100 players in each one. I did a little recap. I don't know if I can put the link up. Let me see here, guys.
You can do anything you want to do, Bree. This is
You're
your
invited.
live stream. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're
This is my
fixing-
party, and you're all invited.
Yeah, that was, it's interesting. It was an interesting card because there was a sequence, and obviously we all saw it, but there was a sequence in the middle where I think a lot of us who handicap thought there were some very logical winners potentially. From a leader to the band to the Fearless to a couple of other horses that we thought, oh, they're going to win no matter what. And that ended up not being as easy of a stretch to handicap as I think a lot of people thought. And so, I know I used Fearless in one of my stables, and that was just a big old fat minus 30 that I got there. And I was like, whoa, it just slows your momentum down. And, with the scratch at Chubwagon, I know that kind of, threw a lot of people's strategy off as well. And suddenly that 3-horse with Paco aboard made a lot more sense because he was the lone speed. And so it was, it was just a lot of things that all of a sudden kind of tweaked things and changed things as the day went on at Parks. And that Pennsylvania Derby was about as wide open of a stakes race, a grade 1 race as I can remember. I mean, you talked to 5 different people on the track that day, they would give you 5 different opinions. And, from Taba to Cyberknife to Tawnyport to Zandon, I just remember standing in the paddock and some lady next to me just goes, "Oh my God, I've never seen that beautiful of a horse before," referring to Zandon. And I was like, yeah, he's beautiful. He just loves to run second, but he's gorgeous. And so, there were a lot of favorites in that field, and it was a tough one to cap.
Yeah.
There was a lot I knew we're going to, I gave out as cold hard, could not lose. That's right. I didn't think Scaramouche, I really believed in him. I did. And then, I thought Leader of the Band was going to win, so I was surprised. But I'm glad John's other horse won, Love in the Air. And Tava, I knew. Society threw me, though. I'll be honest about that.
That Society, I mean, that was amazing. I mean, she just went out.
So Society, so Andrew, Philly Boy, and I did a live stream. Danny was on there for a minute. So it's funny to go back and look at that. And we talked about Scaramouche and we talked about Society. I was a Riding with Biden fan. So I capped the shit out of that card. So I'm really happy with the Parks performance for sure.
That's what I was going to say that's what got me off Riding with Biden was it said no rider. And I was like,
Frankie,
is this going to be a scratch? And
Pennington got off of him to ride Magic Michael. Trust me, he was kicking himself today.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But so that's what kind of threw me off. And like you all said too, Society was a dazzling performance.
Well, so Matt, so Andrew, or where am I going with this? Okay, so Society, so her race at
Charlestown.
I gotta make my brain work with me here. Her race at Charlestown. So those turns are really tight. If you've been to Charlestown, it's very tight turned racetrack. Some horses do well, some don't. And if you look at her and how she went from 5th to 4th, whatever, and around those turns and everything that she did, that horse had speed. And so Andrew had said on the live stream, he said, these horses have to break from the gate and they have to have speed at Parks. Otherwise you're just left behind. And so looking with her Charlestown and the turn of foot that she had there with such a tight track and listening to him, I was like, she's got to do something here. And as they're going in the gate, I'm like walking the dog and I'm like, I need to go put like $100 on this filly. And sure enough, there she goes. And she didn't even break out like first, but she like quickly got to the front past everybody and then stayed there. So
yeah. And then Flo, and the way Flo rode her, I mean, credit to him. I mean, he just kept opening up. I mean, that's how you're supposed to use speed. I mean, just demoralize the rest of the field. I mean, that's, now don't tell any New York jockeys out on the turf, because God knows if we go any faster than 25 and 50, there's going to be an inquiry of some type. But, it's just use speed when you have it. And that's what he did. And he just got out there and when he was opening up like 4 or 5 lengths on the backstretch, I was like, this is going to be a blowout. Like, and the guy I was with was like, are we watching Secretariat? Like, what's this horse?
Yeah, it was crazy. Darren Manor trained so good all week. I don't know what happened there. In fact, I talked to P. Barnes after table one, and he was like, thank God, because he was worried for him. And I thought for a second, because they kept him down. He doesn't like to be down inside, and they kept him down inside. So the post parade's out. The 4 looks really good. I mean, the 5 looks good, but the 4 he looks every bit of 7 to 5. He's fit. He's got probably the best build of them all. Oh no, the 5's in the paddock. Tell me that's a shoe repair or fixing. No, they're doing something with the equipment.
Yeah, there was something there with the 5 and the equipment.
Oh no, that just gets
it says 0 minutes to post, and they haven't even broken up for the warm up. So we got some time.
He jumped. He was like 9 to 1. Now he's at 9 to 5. No, now he's back. Wait, this is Mountaineer.
House limit is 9 to 5. House limit is 9 to 5. All right, guys, let me just check in really fast here. I think I've got everybody. Cindy, so you're asking about Canadians. We are coming for you. We're actually waiting for something to happen in Canada that is completely out of our power, but we hear every week it's very close to happening. So we're coming for you very, very soon. So thank you for tuning in, even though you're blocked at the moment from playing, but we love to have you here. For the giveaway, I have Ryan, Jacob, Colin, Keith, and Sean. If I have missed anybody that was putting their pick down here for the giveaway, please put your pick in race 2. Once that race goes off, I'm just going to wheel it after the race results come out. So if I missed anything, just put your pick in race 2 and enter to win a shirt and a hat that our model Dennis Trusty is showing off in the runway of his bedroom.
Classy.
Or maybe since we've got a little bit of time here, maybe we'll even just do the giveaway beforehand. So race 2, so their jackpot pick 5 is currently at $460K if you want to get involved in that. Let's see, where does that start? Starts at race 4, right? Am I right?
Yeah, starts at race 4, it says, yeah.
So you've got time if you've capped the entire card, which you have as stable dual players. So if you want to get into their jackpot pick 5, it's probably going to close in $500,000. So can't win if you don't play, guys. That's what we always say, but bet responsibly as well.
Of course. Yeah.
I say bet irresponsibly, the more the better.
Thirst and flirty. I think he meant thirsty and flirty for Dennis. So Danny, so sometimes, Assiniboia Downs provides free PPs on their website, and they'll also like name their races, for guests or whatever it is. Yeah. And so there was a Kyle's 30th birthday, and I think what they meant to say was like Kyle's 30 or his dirty 30, Yeah. But it was like Kyle's 30 and dirty. And that was literally like on the program name. Yeah. So that was our favorite race of the night.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. So Mark Knob, I got you here. I'm going to put you in the giveaway, and then I'll take a look.
It says
2 minutes to post. So let's do this. Let's do this giveaway now. So hang on. Let me do the share screen here. Share screen. Chrome tab. Wheel of names. Can everybody see it?
We can.
Okay, so we've got Mark, Sean, Keith, Colin, In, Jacob, Ryan, Cindy. You're out because you're already a winner. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you'd be in. All right, let's wheel it.
Oh, the confidence paid off.
Oh,
Confidence does pay off. Goodness.
yeah.
All right. Well, I know what shirt color you want, Colin. So either DM me. I think you've got access. DM me your address, and I will get your blue shirt, son, and your hat sent out tomorrow. So congratulations there. Put that over there. I'll take the blue. Yes, I know.
See, I told Bree. See, the funny thing is, like, I told Bree, like, I had to tell her like 4 times, I want black. I want black. No, Bree, I want black. Bree, black. No.
And I wasn't even like asking. It was just like random DMs that just kept.
Well, no,
coming
because I was making sure it was the right one first, but then there was like one point where you did ask, and I was like, I've been over this, but okay.
No, I got it to you. Yeah, he's like, do you need my address again? I'm like, nope, I got that. We got it.
Well, I just want to get all the information correct. You know how I am.
Okay.
All info correct.
Running the wrong way together. Nice.
Okay, so morning line is 4, 5, and 3. So the 2 Assiniboia Downs personalities, Kurt and Stretch, we've got 5, 4, and 3 for Kurt's picks, and 3, 4, and 5 for Stretch's picks. So a lot of a different kind of mix up here. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're both fading the favorite, or the morning line favorite, I guess I should say.
I'm going to take a little swing on Texas Rain because one for the girls. $10 to win. Don't let me down here, woman.
Yeah, I mean, again, like just an extremely consistent horse who also has been running in these stakes races for the against fillies. But the thing that you got to like here is, I mean, for a race that's going to be a mile, ran a mile and a 16th and a mile and an 1/8 the last 2 times out. So she can handle the distance, no problem at all. And it was not as if she was fading in those races. So. Definitely one I like in this spot. And again, from Stable Duel, $5,000, like that's a good deal for a horse that's that consistent.
Yep.
Well, they've started loading in. I think this is my
Dennis,
turn.
you're up, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's me. All right.
I expect you to call Texas Rain as the winner. That's all I'm saying.
I expect you to mispronounce one of the horses' names or just make something up. Just to keep
Dicey Mo.
Yeah, Dicey Mo.
Dicey Mo. Thankfully, it's a field of 5, so this can be a little bit easier, and it's a mile, so they won't be going nowhere near as fast. And hopefully there won't be like a mid-move that I will miss somewhere. And they're off. And kind of breaking a little bit together was the 3 gold Texas Rain and the 2 gold special. But going towards the lead is the House Limit, up by about 1.5 lengths over Monstradamus. And then back in third, it says the 3, and I can't have a camera angle because the camera angle is shooting. Oh, it is the 3 gold Texas Rain. And then about maybe 3.5 back to gold special and Courageous. But going along here, the quarter up in 23 and 7. And still link lead over here for House Limit. This is really hard, a lot harder. The more I called races, the worse it got. I don't know why.
Dennis. Keep going.
So House Limit's got about 1.5 lengths lead over Monstradamus, and then back in third, Texas Rain. The half was up in 47 and 8. Peeking over his shoulder is Shavion Chow. Looking back to see Monstradamus still in his rearview mirror. Kind of swinging wide here, Texas Rain trying to make a move. Still on the rails, gold special hanging with them, and Courageous is, kind of calmly bowed out in defeat. Kind of opposite of what Courageous should do, but opening up here. Oh, wow, House Limit. Go on, House Limit. That's what I want to see. Monstradamus battling back in second. That came out wrong. Texas Rain on the outside. Up the rail comes gold special. This could be a huge points race for me. House Limit is a race all by himself. It's going to be close for second. Texas Ring going special, but wow, what a performance by House Limit. Texas Ring gets second, Gold Special third, Monstradamus fourth, and the 65 favorite on the morning line really did not prevail too well.
No, that's a winner you want in stable duel right there. What are we thinking? 7 lengths, 6 lengths, 7 lengths?
Yes, that's my first big one.
You got it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And did anyone notice that horse was bedazzled?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I never got
There
to
was like pink
There's still
sparkles and stuff
Oh.
on its butt. You know how they do for like hunter jumpers where they do the hair, but this horse has pink. Well, you can probably look right now. They'll show coming back in. So obviously pink blinkers. I don't even know if they're blinkers or not, but pink blinkers will go with, and then bedazzled on both hips. So I think bedazzling made a difference here, guys.
Awesome. I never got to see the race because Mountaineer is still just going off. Honestly,
Okay, well, do you want me to recall that? I could probably do a little bit better.
that was awesome. Don't discount.
Don't change a thing.
That was a good call.
Yeah.
There was.
I love
Well,
like
thank
the
you.
middle confidence need.
Yeah. And no, it was Dennis. I love it. And so, 31% of stables had House Limit as in the stable duel contest. And so that's great. But on the other end, 21% of stables had spent $9,800 for, I think at best, a 4th place finish from Monstradamus. So that was a distance 4th. So probably like single digit points, if any, for a $9,800 horse. So that's not so great. But was it Courageous who ended up coming up for 3rd?
No, that was
Gold Special.
Gold Special. So
Gold Special,
25 to 1. So a massive value pick got up for 3rd here. I mean, you were far better off spending money on that one than you were Monstradamus. And again, the lengths that the winner wins by compared to your other horses is what are really going to hurt the 4 horse here. So with the 5 winning by 6 or 7 lengths, sitting in 4th, your base points are 20. So you're really hurting to put up some green for an $9,800 investment in the stable duel app. So not to kick you guys while you're down if you had the 4 here, but this it burns a little bit. It's like a little heartburn.
well,
down.
yeah. See,
Look
I
at
was
the
right.
bedazzling. If anybody's looking at the video right now, look at the bedazzling on the hip and how big this jockey looks on this horse as well.
Now, yeah. Wow.
Dennis, get the Pepsi out. You call it better when you sip in Pepsi. Pepsi, if you're listening, we'll take a sponsor too.
Yeah. Yes. Or me. I will take one as well. I'll give Stable Duel a percentage. I'll share.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If Dennis can get Pepsi as a sponsor, I'll take a very small percentage. But Jacob doesn't know what bedazzled means? Jacob.
Bejeweled.
He must be old.
5 is the only one in the race. That is crazy.
All right,
I even see there's like a pink thing on the back of the horse. Is that what you was talking about, Bree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bedazzling is like back to the 80s. Like they gave you bedazzled kits that had like the bedazzling gun for jean jackets, and you would like, and it was just a lot. And there was usually pink and sparkles. It's a lot. So small horse or big jockey, probably both. Jacob, that's what I'm saying. Small horse and big jockey.
Wait a minute. That was Chow, wasn't it?
That means the Chow GIFs need to start. I think Chow has won the last 2. No, wait. Did he win that one? I'm yelling.
Did he win the first one? Yeah, he won the second race, but Chow.
Yeah, he won. Double. Yep, Chow with the double. I need the GIFs on Twitter of your favorite hangover Chow GIF. Post them. Tag me. I need to see it. This is half the fun at Assiniboia Downs is the Chow GIFs. So, and he's won twice.
I love I love how committed you are to that bit. That's fantastic.
Come on. He's one of the best characters on that movie. Like where he flies in. I mean, yes, he's one of the best characters on the movie. Chow doesn't die. See, I'm not the only one. People know.
So all right, so who's Chow on in the third race? That's the question.
I know, right?
So Chow is on the 1, always the little one, who is 4-1 on the morning line.
Goodness,
And
6-5 right now.
yeah, well, it's because
Oh,
people
that's
saw they just saw the Chow double. All the money's going to all the money.
We need like a bet Mitch get rich. We need something like that for Chow. So if you all think of some rhyme for Chow and betting and something, drop it because we want to see what you got and we'll make that a thing for next year.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start talking about race 3. Why don't we? So race 3 at Assiniboia Downs is 5.5 furlongs, maiden claiming $5,000. The purse is $10K. And you're looking at 6 horses here. 7 horses here. No scratches. There are already some odd changes, just like Matthew said. So always the little one with Chow aboard has gone from 4-1 morning line to 6-5. So that's where your money is going and your public confidence for sure. Benny Bob is sticking kind of around 10-1. So it's sitting at 12-1. Mosey's on Main was 6-1. So a nice value pick potentially in the Stable Duel app, but now it's 5-2. Lennox the Great has been bet down from 30-1, 9-1. Chester G has gone up, and up from 25-1 to 60-1. And then you've got He's the Chairman, 7-2, pretty close. And Steely Capper or Caper? I think Caper. 7 horse on the outside. So 2-1 morning line is now up to 9-1. So
Ooh.
No one's liking Steely Caper. Matthew,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts in race 3 here?
Well, Bree, if you watch the Stable Duel live streams on Friday with myself, Barry, and Gina Piccola, you know that I am a sucker for a maiden claimer. I love them. And you give me horses that haven't won before, it's a bunch of horses I love. And so I'm a big fan of the 3, actually. That's been getting bet down here a little bit and getting a little bit of action. Mosey's on Main is a horse that at 6-1, you mentioned good value, only $5,000 in a Stable Duel. So it keeps you at that average stable price. What I like about this horse is you've seen progression. Every single time out has been better than the time before.
Mm-hmm.
So going from, just a really, difficult debut, super wide, finishing well back, to finishing 5th out of 7th, but got much closer, was only 2.5 back to a 3rd place finish last time out, only a length back. So to Steely Caper, I should say, in that race, who finished 2nd. And, again, Steely Caper, from a morning line standpoint, from a Stable Duel standpoint, is going to cost you $9,000. Here's a horse that finished less than a length behind Steely Caper. So why would I spend $9,000 on that horse when I can spend $5,000 on a horse that's ascending and getting better every time out? So I ultimately went with that. I think I did use the 2 as well in one of my other stables from more of a price standpoint. It was only $1,000 at 10-1, but really like the 3 in the spot.
So question for you when we talk about live odds from the morning line and the prices. So a horse like Steely Caper, if you selected that horse in the Stable Duel app, so again, 2-1, $9,000, and then you see that it's now 8-1, does your confidence get hurt by that at all to see that the public does not agree with your pick? What do you think?
On a 2-1, yes. If an 8-1 floats up to 12-1 or 14-1 or something like that, that doesn't bother me. But if I see a 2-1 that floats up that high, and what often happens is there's usually like 2 high-priced horses. So there's like a 9-5 and a 2-1, and sometimes you're like, all right, which one am I going to pick? And when you see that 2-1 float up to 9-1, you're like, damn, I picked the wrong one. So because usually the 9-5 starts getting bet down to like even money. Or something like that. So definitely, messes with your confidence. And on the flip side, it's always great when you spend 8-1 on a horse and then you see that horse, or 5-1, and then you see that horse go off at, 5-2 or 2-1 or something like that. And you go, at least I made the right value selection, because the way I often think about it is, if a horse, so for instance, if a horse like Mosey's on Main, who cost $5,000. If that horse goes off at, let's just say 8-5, that would have cost $8,500, or 2-5, I should say, 5-2. I'm going to use my words right. 5-2, it would have cost you $8,500. So my thought process is, I got an $8,500 horse for $5,000 on the morning line. So that's the way I try to think about it sometimes. And where you can find a little bit of value, particularly in these maiden claimers. I mean, that's why I joke about it, but you can always find value in these races because, sometimes it's something as simple as an equipment change, a barn change, just a progression of a horse dropping down in class, etc. But always like attacking these races from stable duel.
Well, we can pull up. So interestingly enough here, I'm going to pull up the horse details page of the 7 Steely Caper. Not a lot of stable duel players love this horse anyways. So that's good that they didn't have, I guess, a wool pull over their eyes from the high price. I think we had 7%, so only 11 out of the 146 here. So let me get this up.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's like this horse is over 16.
Yeah.
Is today going to be the day? Maybe, but I mean, I'm not going to spend $9,000 to find out.
No.
Again, I do a lot with my heart here, and it's like, I think she can do it this time. This is not one of those. So I know a little bit small here, but here's what your horse details screen looks like in the Stable Duel app for the number 7. So Steely Keeper, you can see up there that 11 out of 146 chose this horse at $9,000. 16 starts stands out there, 0 firsts. Very quick way to see this, 4 seconds and 4 thirds. And then from the horses that you're looking at a speed rank of 3 of the 7 and a value rank of 3 of the 7. And risk, just because it's maidens, is really tough to see here. But you can see the past performances there. And also, check out the lengths that the horse was beaten by. So last time out, 6 furlong race, a little bit of a stretch from the 5.5, finished 5th, but was beaten by 9.5. That's not going to give you very many stable duel points in the app. So to spend $9,000 on a what if probably isn't the smartest choice, and most players kind of shied away from it. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, Cindy likes these races too, Matt. I love this kind of race as well. Looking really hard at this 5 Chester G. So what do we think about Chester G here? So currently 21. So super big value here. If anybody likes the across the board bet, you can do that on a 20-1, absolutely across the board. And again, it's a 7-horse race. So, you're probably getting some money across the board here on Chester G. What do we like about Chester G? Dennis, did you take a look at that horse?
No, I mean, honestly, the only thing I like about the horse is that Cindy picks it. I know Cindy all over YouTube. He's very good at finding value horses that I can't get to sometimes, but honestly, the horse is not, how can I say this? Not as bad, I think, as the 4 and the 2, and at least has a good value rating, like you said, in stable duel or even betting across the board. If the horse gets third, you're still going to get paid.
Yep, very, very true. We've got another Chow fan. I ride with Chow. Oh, I just love Chow so much. There's so much entertainment out of this.
I also think, to Cindy's point, like you could see horses will progress from race 1 to race 2 pretty significantly. And so first time out, it's always tough. And so this is the 5 second attempt, Chester G's second attempt. So you'd hope to see a little bit of improvement. One thing you can look at is it did seem like that horse didn't break that great, was pretty far back early if you just look at the running line of that first race, but then did make up some ground late. I mean, I think was as far back as 13 or 15 lengths, and then ended up only losing by about 6. So I mean, it made a little bit of a run and a middle move to show maybe there's something there. You would have liked to have seen the horse break a little bit better, but at that price and at a Cinnaboy where you got to spend like $10,000 in 3 races, or $10,000 per race, a few times, you got to throw a couple of these long shots in.
Yeah, he probably tired.
Yeah, and there's something to, again, with the maidens, I think sometimes if you're going to take a swing on complete question marks, because you just don't, with some of the allowance horses or allowance optional claimers, if they're sitting to 30-1, you're seeing a shit ton of races that that they just don't perform. With maidens, you have no idea. So If you're going to spend, 30-1, no money on a what if, spend it on the what if that it really truly is a what if, not one that shows that they just can't. They're just not up to it, I guess. We'll just say it that way.
See, and my top pick in the race is the 1 horse, always the little one. And I know how you fillies like to watch the weight. The horse is dropping an immense amount of weight. Went from 113 first time out to 116 now. Showed speed first time out. And the comment line says, gave best, tired late. I'm figuring if the weight was an issue facing males, that's a little bit of a tough task. But I think the horse could actually get away from him. And a lot of horses don't like to win in this race, like we said before. So.
I love how you just said, I know how you fillies like to watch the weight. Bouquet. Also something to note. I know. No, it was good. Something to note, which again, it's not a huge angle per se, but the claiming price on the 1 is $62.50, not $5,000. The claiming price on the 6 is also $62.50. So those two horses are priced a little bit higher on the claim compared to some of the other ones. So what's it mean? Could mean.
I just realized what I said. I feel so bad now because I feel like I messed up on that, but still got the point across. I see Jacob in the chat say that, like, well, I didn't mean you at the top here. I didn't mean you, but
sure.
At least it didn't call us mares,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, brood mares. That would be harsh. No, that would be where we remove you.
That would be Dennis's. Yeah, I was gonna say Dennis's feet is suddenly cut off. And
yeah.
Here you go. Cindy's got a good angle here. Just the jockey move up is worth the risk. It goes from a 0% jockey to upgrade to now 18%.
That's a good
jockey,
point.
So.
And I will say the jockey trainer combo on the 5. They've only won once out of 5, but it was a big hit because they had a pretty significant positive ROI, if I'm not mistaken. Even though they're in that one, I think their ROI was like 564 for. So they've connected on a bomb before. So maybe the juju can work again.
Yeah. Well, I do know, and I hear this from like trainers a lot. If you're going to ride the good ones, you have to ride the not so good ones as well too. So, but I hear you. Yeah.
All right, Danny, how's your feed looking? Are you looking at horses in the post grade and paddock?
I'm on the 3 Mosey's on Main, and I like the way he looks coming out on the track too. And again, I don't have PPs in front of me, but we are on the track. We're doing the post parade right now. So hopefully we're 3 minutes to post. So hopefully they don't put 3. We're next. So Woodbine and Mountaineer both have 6 minutes to post. So I should be able to actually call the race, but I'm doing it from my TV with TVG.
Steve, perfect.
I want to say with 6 horse here, that was the horse I was torn between, but I didn't want to use because of value. I just started looking back through at some of my notes. And the 6 horses face the same horses. The next out winner, first time out, 2 next out winners actually in the same race. Then they both came back to run in the same race again. And then the first out winner ran against him again in an allowance race. And then the next out winner next time out. Then the next out winner next time out. And then the same horse that he faced 4 times comes out and wins finally. And then the last race was the next out winner and going to be running later on tonight in the card, Wit and Whiskey later on. But I just started looking through my notes on that, and that's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I see why people are not on the 7. Sorry, but no. Like wants to go to the horse show ring, buddy.
Sorry, not sorry.
Pretty horse though.
Yeah, actually, I want to say the 5 actually looked far better than what the odds are showing. But
yeah, I thought so too. Actually, It looks cold up there.
I know. I am seeing some smoke out the nose. Another cool thing about this track, which I guess isn't cool for some of the owners, but again, there's so many things we love about Assiniboia Downs. It makes it very easy for you to see who your horses are because the silks are the colors of the saddle pad. So the 5 horse, each jockey is wearing green, and so on and so forth with the 4. So that makes it easy for us newbie race callers as well. So something to know.
Thanks, Bree, for saying that. Now you make my call look like trash again. Thank you. No,
No, you had a great call. I loved the conversation in the middle.
It was, yeah, no, Dennis, your call had twists and turns, and I loved it. I loved it. So,
all right, sorry, I was watching the post parade, so I didn't put up comments. So race 3, money will go to the 1 and the 6. So Jacob is saying the 2 to keep an eye out for the long shot. Keith has watched the replay of the 3 and wanted to use the 3 after that.
Mm-hmm.
And all right. Well, if the 3 wins, I'll pull up the replay here and we can all watch it as well. Sean's on the number 6 because it runs for higher purses, and also did not like the gray, the 7. Yeah. And then Cindy, she says it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess we should ask Cindy for weather.
I looked up the weather just now. It says it's 51, right now. So it's not like it's cold.
Right.
Is anybody else like window openers? Like I was raised with no air conditioning. So like this is the mecca where you open the windows, it cools down during night, and then, and then you close them during the day and you have like free air conditioning. Does anybody else do this?
No. I mean, I still have my air conditioning on tonight because it was warm here today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like it's a nice time of year.
It is.
I was raised by a man who loves air conditioning, and so I also am a big fan of air conditioning. But I will say I lived in Michigan one summer, and I only had a window unit, and I will say that summer in Michigan, I by and large just kept my place heated and cooled by the windows and the sliding glass door out to the porch. So it was lovely. I loved it that summer.
Shout out to Jacob to know that I'm from Syracuse. And yes, I can tell you as a whiny child in the middle of the summer, you do need air conditioning in Syracuse. Yeah. As like the Fox fan in the window that you're just like sitting in front of sort of thing. But, first world problems. So. Yeah.
But it was nice, like, here in Virginia, it was nice to like wake up last week. It was actually the day I drove up to Pennsylvania. I think it was Friday. All of a sudden, like, it's just like Mother Nature is just like, it's going to be cool now. And it's like, fantastic. Yeah. And so I love it.
By the way, the person in first place, Bree, you might want to pull that up because that is something I've never seen in Stable Duel before. Just look at I know I'm not like the Stable Duel.
Dennis is like, I'm not judging. But
I know I'm not the Stable Duel aficionado here like you and Matthew are, but I've never seen that.
Well, he's going for the short fields.
Yeah. Somebody did that the other day that they just used like 8 of their 10 horses in the first 2 races. And I mean, if you hit the superfecta in both of them, like it's not a terrible strategy. Like it's, because somebody actually wrote to me about this. I actually think it might've been, no, it wasn't Keith. It was somebody else Slop Stables. That's who it was. Slop wrote to me about it and was like, is this something you do a lot? And I'm like, no, but it's not a terrible strategy to finish like in the money. Like you're not going to win doing that a lot of times because somebody's inevitably going to have a 400-point night and you're just not going to be able to like keep up with that. But if you just want to like finish 13th, like it's not the worst strategy to do.
Yeah, I had somebody pick 3 horses in the Pennsylvania Derby and they asked me about strategy. And I said, if you think, those horses are going to be first, second, and third, and that's more confidence than you picking a horse in another race, then that's your strategy. Realistically, the only thing you're doing is you're pulling your optimal points by picking 3 horses in one race. But that doesn't mean that, it doesn't going to put you to cash. Like maybe you don't win the game, but you finish in the top 20. Yeah. It's kind of up to, that's the greatest thing about Stable Duel and players and strategy. It's kind of up to you what strategy you want to do. So Castro Juan 968, took a swing in races 1 and 2, and he's got Benny Bob here in race 3.
That's the crazy thing is he took a swing. Hold on, wait a minute. He took a swing, but he took a swing by taking every horse in the first race.
Well, maybe he just wanted to get an entry in, which is fine.
We're on Mountain.
Who?
Oh. See, I'm not going to be able to call this race, I think, because they went to Mountaineer.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Oh, God. I really want to come back and call a race, though. Please. I do. but we're
So
Bree, I can take
Matthew,
it. If you,
yeah,
I got it.
because I didn't write down the names and my PPs are on, so
Yeah.
I
So
got
I watch
notes
it on my
on.
cell phone with like the names underneath, so I can try to keep. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's how I'm calling it. But yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Oh
so
yeah,
there-
that's a good thing to say. Like if people out there watching wondering how we're calling these races.
Yeah, everybody's I think got a different method and setup. So we're just about loaded here at the third at Assiniboia. Looks like we have the first 4 loaded in. They're working on Chester G, and our girl Sydney certainly hoping for a big race out of that horse at 45-1. But currently the favorite is the 6. He's the chairman, who is was the morning line favorite at 9-5. Steely Caper has dropped quite a bit from 9-1 now back down to 7-2. So there has been more money
Ooh,
coming in on the
late money,
7
honey.
horse. Always a little one is at 3-1. Mosey's on Main is at 5-1, and then everybody else is Benny Bob's at 8-1, and then the other are
I'm
at
on the
double
3
digit
here.
odds.
We need the 3.
Yeah, we do, Bree. Let's get this 3 home.
Get this 3. Get this 3.
So we'll see. We're still loading them in. It looks like we got the 5 in. The 6 is, I think, in. And oh no, the 6 is not in yet. I don't believe it's kind of hard to tell from the angle, but
Oh wait, that was Sean Boy on TVG. Oh, this is great.
oh, Danny, do you want to take
Oh,
over?
I can do it. I can do
I'll
it.
tag you in. Tag you in. Go.
All right, we're all in, lined up, getting ready here.
Great work on the tag. That was great.
Oh, the 7 is really, they're having a hard time. All right, they got him in. The assistant starter's up. Shake of the camera. And they're off. And it looks like a pretty even line, but the 4, 5, and 6 really bumped into each other. And the number 2, Benny Bob, goes out for the lead, but always the little one comes from the inside to take the lead. The number 6 horse tracks from the outside. He's the chairman. And the 7, Steely Caper, settles in the 3rd position. A little hard to see and who's in the back, but it looks like Lennox the Great is trailing the field. Number 3, Mosey's on Main, starting to make a bid from the outside. And the 1 is still in the lead there. Always the little one he's the chairman, trying to keep up from 2nd, but always the Main is pulling. Always the little one is pulling away and widening his margin into the stretch.
The 2's making a big move.
Nothing from Mosey's on Main, but here comes Steve
crap.
Caper on the outside trying to make a bid. And here's the chairman, comes back, tries one more time, but always the little one holds on. He's on the wrong lead, but he's super game. But here's the chairman one last time and does get up to the wire.
Yeah.
Oh, and always on Main looks terrible. Mosey's on Main looks pitiful crossing the stretch. I give up.
Ay.
Tell Chris Griffin his job is safe.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you're not
I mean,
nice,
all of us.
Dennis.
All of us.
Oh,
all of us.
okay. Danny,
see,
you do a great job.
it comes out wrong every time.
No, but we need a race caller. Chris is
Oh, yeah.
leaving.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Yeah, Chris is
Yeah,
leaving.
he's
Yeah,
going
for
to Naira. He's going to Aqueduct.
Oh, that's right.
wow.
We actually need a race caller, and trust me, they're not going to take me.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
Dennis, you're getting called out for interrupting.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah. I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it was funny is I was watching on my cell phone, and my cell phone was like 10 seconds ahead of the TV. And so I was watching it and I was like, I wonder how Danny's going to call this. I wonder how Danny's going to call that. Like, because I was like, oh, this is happening now. And then this is happening now. And so that was so close to a racing triple for Chow, Bree. I mean, I don't know.
I know.
We would have like shut down the
Chow
stream at that
wagon.
point. Yeah, it would have been too much.
That's
So
awesome.
far, all we've gotten is the Chow wagon, which is okay. So any things that we can do to call something with Chow winning races. That's 6. I will tell you, so early on as I guess it's still the same. As a fan, who just, obviously enjoyed the racing and stuff. Like the 6 was my number. So you know how some people are like, I always bet the 4, 6 was my number. And I always felt like if I just bet the 6, and sometimes I still feel like even if I handicap, I should probably just stick to betting the 6 because I would do better.
So why is the 6 your number? Because that's my number as well, but I'm interested in
Is
why
it?
it's yours. Yeah.
So I don't know. So I think I've always said that 6 is my lucky number. I highly doubt it's ever really been that lucky for me, but I think you just pick a lucky number and 6.
I was gonna say don't bet pick 3s then.
Don't bet pick 3s. Why?
3 6s.
Oh.
My lucky number.
Please bring it on, devil. I'm ready.
So for me, I always liked the colors of the saddle pads. The black and gold, because I was in, this is kind of stupid, but I was in a fraternity in college, and that was our fraternity colors were black and gold.
There you go.
And so I always think of that. And a bunch of my buddies, one of my fraternity brothers is from Saratoga, and so I go back to see him every summer, and we go to the track. So just makes me think of my younger days, Bree, when I wake up with aching knees. And so that's
well, and that's where you got Tupelo.
That is where I got Tupelo. That is where I got my stable name as well. Yes, in college.
Jacob, we don't need your negative energy here, so you can take your negative energy somewhere else. I think it's a legitimate angle.
Yeah, totally legit.
But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm never going to tell somebody to bet on the 6 just because I think it's a lucky number. But what I do with my money is my business.
But someone did that, and that was their angle. They won the last race, and I didn't bet in the 3, so I'm not judging anybody.
Well, didn't someone for the NHC like one year bet 7s across the board and almost clean up or something like that? Like somebody's done something like that just disrupted handicappers, and it was a big deal of letting, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was something like the NHC, someone bet 7s and they ended up in the money because however the race is set up, the 7s did okay. I don't know. We're getting shut down. Okay, that's fun. All right, so he's the chairman, won the last race, which cost, let's see here. So went off morning line odds 9-5. So you paid money for that, Shelley Brown, but thankfully held on. But you're not getting a much over the 60-point base in stable duel since it looks like it only won by a nose. So you're looking at probably 60.25 there. And then always a little one. So the Chow Wagon, you're looking at a 39.75. So pretty nice pick for Chow at 4-1, 7,000 in the app to get close to that highest amount of second place points at 39.75. So where'd Benny Bob? Oh, Benny Bob finished 3rd. That was a $1,000 horse.
Thank God I included that horse. All right, that's good.
Benny Bob.
Because I use the 2 and the 3, and so the 3, maybe those points will negate each other. We'll see. But yeah, that's rough. I don't know what happened to that 3. Jeez.
So the jackpot pick 5 starts in race 4, and Cindy is in it. Good luck to Cindy. We're gonna root you across the finish line. Hopefully starting in the next race. And if anybody else wants to play, there is a huge carryover. 463. Let's see where it's at. If it's going to grow, it'll probably grow starting soon because people will start locking their tickets in. But 463,545 is what the current jackpot pick 5 is, and that starts in race 4, which is also the stakes race on the day that Matt has so kindly suggested that I call this 8-horse race that is also a mile. Which we all know what happens with more horses and more time.
But that way you won't get bored. You won't get bored. Because I remember the one time you're like, I don't know what else to say. They're running in the same position. It's like, well, now you got 8 horses, so it's going to be more to call, Okay.
Yeah,
we're going to be like, it's not going to quite be like Larry Coleman was trying to call the Derby or something like that. But, it's you got to get through a lot of names. So
it's absolutely going to pan out, just like you said, 100%. Yeah, no issues whatsoever.
None.
All right, race 4 stakes $40,000. This is the 60th running of the Buffalo Stakes. I wonder if that's because is Manitoba close to Buffalo, New York? Anyone?
Yeah,
Cindy?
Far.
Cindy, let us know if it's close. Oh, Dennis is back. We'll bring him back in.
All
So the
I
Buffalo
thought we
Stakes-
canceled Dennis. I thought Dennis got canceled in the chat, and so that's why.
Oh,
Well, good guess though.
we can recancel whatever happens.
No.
All right, so $40,000. This is for 2-year-olds, all Manitoba bred, and we're looking fillies, colts, and geldings. That's very excited. So we do we have any first-time starters in this one? Yes,
No.
we do. Yeah. Kentucky Jake is a first-time starter, and it looks like potentially that's your only one. So interesting pick for Kentucky Jake. If there's any Kentuckians, I'm sure some picked for the name value, 20-1. Hey, as Jacob, it's a true betting angle to pick for the name. So.
I will say Kentucky Jake is taking some money here, already down to 6-1. It was 20-1 on the morning line, down to 6-1 now. So it's taking some early money.
I wonder if they're drinking bourbon and picking Kentucky Jake.
That's about the only reason I would. So, okay.
So Russian Pearl, I remember we have talked about this filly quite a bit on the Monday Night Light show. So she's gone from 5-2 morning line now to 11-1. So that's interesting movement on money or lack thereof. 20 again, Kentucky Jake is 7-1 down from 20-1. Even money favorite is the 6, probably because of the saddle cloth colors. I love my life is even money, and Chow is aboard. Goodness, Chow's got to pick them. Chow just walks in and is like, I'll take that one, and they're like, yep, whatever. The 5 horse, we're going backwards here. Mechanic Susie at 8-1 morning line. So $3,000 in the Stable Duel app is now currently 3-1. Endo, the 4 horse, down from 40-1 to 21-1. So still lots of value to be had if you're betting any superfectas or anything in this race. Bad Pixie, the 3 horse, sitting at 15-1. Prairie Drifter has gone up in odds from 5-1 morning line to 10-1. And then for the first post, we're looking still at a value pick, down from 30-1, but Valid Defense is 16-1. And yeah, I guess they're just not liking the inside post here. Any strong opinions in this race here, guys? Dennis, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll say first off, my strong opinion was I didn't play anybody in the Stable Duel, but my strongest opinion was the 6. And obviously, favorite, yeah, chalk player for sure. But was a $12,000 purchase at the Canadian sale. I don't know where that is at. I don't know the abbreviation, but $12,000 versus like $700 and a bunch of other ones like that. So. And there was one for 7,000 on the one, but no, I think the 6 just honestly might be the best horse here. I'm worried that there'll be a speed duel between the 2 and the 6, and the 5 was really game last time, going from second to first to second to first and beating the 2 horse Prairie Drifter. So I think that would probably be an interesting lane if it stalks, but I kind of think somebody's going to stalk and win this race if there's a speed duel.
Well, Cindy just pointed out, which is interesting to note. So if you look at between the 5 and the 6, Chow is on the 5 in its first race, the maiden special weight at 20,000. That Dennis just said, went second to first, did a fight and ended up coming out a winner against Prairie Drifter by, it looks like just half a length there. But instead of staying on Mechanic Susie, stayed on I Love My Life, which he's ridden twice and won twice. First time out, maiden special weight 20,000, won by 6.5 lengths. This is why this horse is even money here. And then second time out was a $40,000 stake race at Assiniboia down 6 furlongs and won by 3 1/4. So even money. I mean, quite expensive, but again, you're hoping that this horse not only wins, better win if you're paying that price, but wins by a lot of lengths like we saw in, I think, race 2 with Bedazzled number 5. So interesting to look at there. But yeah, it's kind of fun because you can see Prairie Drifter has raced against Mechanic Susie, who has raced against I Love My Life. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I Love My Life. Russian Pearl is in the mix as well. Russian Pearl got second to I Love My Life in that race, only by 3 1/4 lengths. So, I guess At 5-2, you're spending some money, but maybe if you're betting on the side here, 7-1 currently for Russian Pearl on the outside post, it might not be a bad value pick here. So.
I got a question, I guess, for Matthew, Danny, or you, Bree, or Chad as well. Is it wrong to say I think the 6 is the most likely winner, but also the most likely horse to get beat on the entire card?
I don't think that's I've thought that before. I'm going with the 8 in this race. Now down to 7-1, but
I'm gonna need an explanation of the logic. So it's the most likely winner.
I'm tired, so it made sense.
But it's the most likely to get beat.
Most likely favorite to get beat. So here's what I said by that. The 6 could win like Flightline. Could. I mean, could just destroy this field because it's the best horse by, I think, a good margin, because obviously the horse is won by, let me get this back up here.
10 lengths combined.
Yeah, 10 lengths combined. But if there's a speed duel, and because they're 2-year-olds and there's likelihood for improvement, it also became kind of like, well, if somebody improves, I don't really trust this horse. Does that make sense now?
I mean, it sounds to me like you're being a bit of a puddle hopper rather than having conviction on a horse. That's what it sounds like. Either you think the horse is going to win like Flightline, or you think the horse is going to be a maiden and could flop. You know what I mean?
I'm doing a Calvary. Shut up.
No, I like it. I think these types of thoughts are really important for people to hear because, we all have them. There are horses make us sit there and second guess ourselves. Like you have to compare to the other horses. You have to do what if, and then you decide if you're going to have conviction, make a bet or not. So I think the thought's good. In is on the number 2 here, Prairie Drifter to win this race. All right. Puddle Jacob is the best taunter in the chat. I'm always here for a taunter.
A taunter.
Okay.
I like her in the warm up.
Which one?
Got like a nice walk. She's feeling good. The 5 was almost got loose there for a second. So,
which one did you like though, Danny? Was it
the 8?
The 8. Okay. I will say the 7 does have interesting. So this is one of those where even these horses that have run before, they've run at 5 and 6 furlongs. Now we're going a mile, so they're stretching out. So I was just digging a little bit into the DRF formulator to look at the pedigrees, and I will say that the 7 Kentucky Jake, it is interesting. I mean, the dam produces 27% route winners, which is pretty damn good, especially compared to everybody else in this field. And actually, if you notice, the 7 and the 6 share the same sire as well. Mm-hmm. So there's decent pedigree with that 7. I don't know if I trust it first time out, but to suggest it can get the distance, I don't think is outlandish.
I like the thought process.
Well,
right, guys,
that's usually what leads me. Yeah, that usually what leads me to negative 30 points. It's a good thought process, and then the execution falls apart. So,
well, I had a question too on the 6 too. Since it is a Cineboy Downs and it's our last night streaming, and you said pedigree, could that be going Commandy's mom? Damn, it's Commando Kate. Commando.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Could it?
Yeah, it's Commando Kate's. Yeah, it's the dam, and then go Commando's sire. Yeah.
Sorry, Danny, we get attached to horses at the Cineboy Downs because there's a lot of them we see over and over and over again.
Right.
And that was one of them. So,
okay.
Yeah. Big Tony, Mia
There's
Bear.
many
Lots
reasons
of good
we
stuff.
love this track. I love Mia Bear. Such a fangirl for that one.
But one of the things you love is swag.
Hold on.
Go for it.
Hold on. Yes, we got to go to swag. Okay, so I've got 2 shirts left, guys. I've got a gray and a white. We'll give one of these away. So drop your pick for the stakes race here, the Buffalo Stakes 40,000. We just went through the horses ourselves, but we want to know who you're picking, whether it's in the Stable Duel app or with your traditional wagering. Drop your pick, and we will do the last giveaway of Monday Night Lights. And you get to pick gray or white. And Dennis, please model the shirt.
Gorgeous.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Okay, so drop in the chat who your pick is and race for it at Assiniboia Downs. It says we have 9 minutes to post. We are looking at the paddock. Danny, can you still see the paddock, or is it switched?
The 5's still on his toes, 7-2. And I like the 2 too at 11-1. And I feel so ignorant. I don't know the genders because I don't have the PPs in front of me. And I know you said it was a mix, right, of fillies, colts, and geldings. But yeah, I mean, the 5s look to settle down. The 8 still looks great, and we're 9 minutes to post. So the jockeys aren't even in the paddock yet.
And it looks like so both Kurt and Stretch have picked 8 Russian Pearl as their winner, and then 6 I Love My Life as the second place here. So they've got Chow second, and they have Russian Pearl, which was the one that was short price morning line, but got bet. Really had some money to gain, I guess, here. So sitting at 7-1 is Russian Pearl. And then your favorite is 3-5 with Chow is the 6 horse. So according to Kurt and Stretch, you can get some value if you want to put a win bet on the 8 here, or win place potentially if you're into place bets as well. Russian Pearl.
I just couldn't spend $8,500 on Stable Duel on a horse that likes to finish second a lot. So,
Well, maybe tonight's her night, Matt.
Well, it was last time out, broke a maiden, and sometimes that's all a horse needs is to learn how to win once, and then it starts to happen again. And we saw with Command Performance, everybody was beating up on that horse. Force finally broke its maiden, goes out to an allowance next time out, and wins next time out. So, they learn to win.
My horse just won 3 in a row. Yeah, so they do.
All right, so we've got the picks coming in, and also Stable Duel is updated. So let us know where you're at in Stable Duel. So Mark still rides with Chow. He's on the 6 horse here. Begsy is on the 5. Jacob. Oh, Kentucky Jake is doomed. Oh, for 6 though. I mean, it could be this.
That's low for 6. Yeah.
Doomed is a huge word. Okay, Sean is 2-5 exacta box. And let's see, Keith is on 8 Russian Pearl to grind out the win. I like it. So Tim thinks that the 6 horse with Chow is going to win, but took the 5 in Stable Duel and used that $7,000 elsewhere. Yep. Sometimes you got to make those choices. And you use the 5 as a second Stable Duel. So doubled up in this one. Hey, Mary, I hope you're winning trivia. Good luck on Stable Duel. They just did their pick 5, so they're the pick 5 jackpot, which let me see where that's currently at. I think it just said that it was over 500K. It's not saying it up top, so maybe their graphics need an update. But there's 2, if you're watching, Kurt and Stretch both put up their pick 5s. One's costing $33. The other one is $43. So in case you want to ride along with them, they've got a pick 5. Cindy also shared hers in the chat as well. So good luck to anyone who's playing the pick 5. Cindy likes the 3 here. Jacob is, I had to read this a couple times here. So going commando. So 0 for 7 first time out. Okay, so he doesn't like the first time starter.
I don't either, but it's at least interesting to look at, I think. So.
I'll tell you what.
Holland is on the 8 here.
Oh.
You like the 5, Danny? Is that what you said?
The 2, yeah. I had the 8 to win and the 5 second, the 2 third. So the people that are saying they like the 5 and the 2, I see it. I see it.
Yep. Those are my 2 underneath. I went with the 6 up top, but the 5 and 2 are my underneath picks. I like both of those.
Matt, can I employ you to help read out the names that shared their picks so I can put them in the giveaway?
Sure. How far back are we scrolling?
So I think it started with just a little.
Who was the first? Oh, Mark. Was Mark the first with the ride?
Yeah,
with
you
Chow?
can start with
So
Mark.
we'll start with Mark, and then we'll go with Ryan. We got Beggs in there.
I see one. N had the 2 horse as well. So.
And then okay, and then Sean gave out one. Tim and Keith.
Yeah.
And Sydney, but she's disqualified.
Sydney,
and
you
Colin,
one, my girl.
also disqualified.
Yep, Colin, you're out.
And Inopova is
Got in, yeah.
Yep, 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we
He
got.
twice. That's my bad. Sorry.
Mary, if you're tuning in, just give us your pick for this next one, and we'll put you in a drawing for a T-shirt.
Yeah, I want to know how Ass Downs is doing in trivia too. Like, what place are we in? Like,
if you and David are cleaning up.
Yeah. So,
I'm supposed to call this one, and I am not ready.
Well, you know, Dennis, it's interesting. To your point, there's a fair amount of front end speed in this race, based on the limited running lines that we've seen. But the 2 is probably going to want to go pretty far front. The 5 and the 6 are also going to want to go far front, and the 8 wouldn't mind being. I mean, the 8 just won wire to wire basically last time out. I actually think the horse that loses that early speed battle is actually in best position. Like, I actually think it's best just to let 2 or 3 of these go out. Like, hey, knock yourself out. You want to go a 23-2 opening quarter for a mile race? Not go for it. And just sit in the pocket, or just sit either in the pocket or kind of stalking outside. But I just if I was a jockey in this one, I would much rather let some of these other horses go up, and especially stretching out from 6 furlongs, I think, is the longest anybody's ever run in this race. So stretching out an additional 2 furlongs is, I think, a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So my point still makes sense on what I said earlier. Okay, good.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there, Des.
All right.
Yeah.
So Keith said, can the 6 get the distance is the big question of this race. Impressive winner coming off with a little bit of rest, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's important to note, even the DRF notes said last time, lone speed. Well, he's not going to be lone speed this time. So what's going to happen? That's the issue. And Colin brings up a great point. That's the Sarah point for the HRN stats, which is those outside post positions are just too far.
Yep. Well, it works if they can break and get right out front, which is what, I guess 5th isn't really an outside position, but was in that race and obviously cleaned up. So Mary and David came 4th out of 10 in their trivia. So little clap for Ask Down's team trivia tonight. Rounded out superfecta. Love it. All right, let me do a wheel of names since, let's see, it says 2 minutes to post, but we've got a few other ones. So I've got Mark, Ryan, In, Sean, Tim, Keith, and Mary. Please speak now or forever hold your peace if I have missed you. And I'm going to share my screen.
And see, Mary, you're living by my thing of I want to just be above average. That's all. That's it. Just above average.
All right, are we ready? Did anybody say anything they missed? Nope. All right, Let's do this. So here's the last giveaway of Monday Night Lights, and we have 2 T-shirts.
Never mind. I was going to say do a drum roll, but too late.
Mark.
Hey.
Hey.
Riding with Chow.
Congratulations. Right. I know, the Chow wagon. All right, so Mark, you can email support. I'll put it here. Email support at stableduel.com. I can't spell stableduel. With your address and what color shirt you would like. Either the gray or the white works. Move from stream. Or DM Stableduel on Twitter if you're on Twitter, wherever. Pick your poison.
So we got this is exciting. They have these races, and I'll be honest, I was already looking ahead to tomorrow, already looking ahead to Wednesday to see the familiar names that we might be able to get to see one last time at Assiniboia. And sadly, Mia Bear is not running, and her last race was canceled because of the lighting malfunction they had up there. And so I was hoping that they were going to bring her back again this week, but it doesn't look like they are. So that was too bad.
I love that, Philly. I mean, so next year we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to go. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I'm getting my dad's ass up there too. I'm getting Mr. DeSantis. We're going. He's so excited about the buffet up there. Gonna get a race named after him. We're gonna go. It's gonna be a blast. So.
Yes, we do have to do a race named after.
Oh yeah, if Keith's or Kyle's 30 and Dirty can afford it, I think we can collectively put a pool together to afford getting, a stable duel or a Dennis Trusty stakes race named as well.
That'd be scary. They'd be a full field of drunk horses, probably.
It'd be a maiden claimer, Dennis. So.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time.
Is it 1,502? Probably so.
So Sean asked what we're going to do next since this is the end of Monday Night Lights. We'll definitely figure something else out. Remington is definitely a possibility. Kind of the night tracks seem to work a little bit better. So yeah, any suggestions, put them. If you guys want anything specific, please let us know.
I have a huge suggestion of Penn National because I will be such a resource because obviously tons of parks horses ship up there, and I know all things Penn and parks.
We can do Penn. We
I
can
love
totally
it.
do Penn.
Well,
We
Danny,
did a
I'm
big.
I'm going to absorb every piece of information you have because I grew up, as you know, not far from
Yeah.
Penn National. I suck at Penn National on stable
good.
duel. I'm
Love it.
so bad
Yeah.
there. And so I need all the information you could give me. So I would tune in just to listen to you for that.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, let me ask something about that too. How, because I suck at Penn National a lot. What the difference is between the switching tracks of Parks and Penn National and Prescott? How does
They're both speed favoring tracks. Penn's really tight and fast. Like 6 furlongs horses, they'll do 108 and change, no problem. My horse just did that in an allowance race. But Parks is a little deeper, obviously. But Parks can be typically deeper, but they had it fast this weekend too. Penn has a really nice turf course too, or way better than our turf course. Yeah, I mean it's competitive, and you'll see a lot of horses go up there, and you think you're going to Penn sometimes to get an easy field, and you're not. Like there's some sneaky good horses up there.
Okay, noted.
Yep.
We did do I think it was Penn National.
Yeah, we did.
We did a big night in with a pretty hefty big guarantee, and it was awesome. Like people had a blast. We had, I think, over 225. I mean, this is either last year, I can't remember, but we had over 200 stables. It was super fun. So those are always fun things to do for sure. And, Penn National has been a success. So they start at 6 p.m. Oh, hold on. So YouTube for Final Four might be good for leaderboard watching. Yeah, speaking of the leaderboard, since they are heading towards the gate, so we are updated and we've got a new first and second syndicated pony. That stable has now, it's pulling a Begsy. It's first and second tonight in the Assiniboia Downs, so 241 and 55, and actually has 2 horses remaining in the 5th race and the 8th race for that stable. And then the second one has 3 horses remaining, has Mechanic Susie in this race. So we'll see how Mechanic Susie does for syndicated pony. We've got 2 other ones, and Ripping Heaters. It's pretty close behind there with 215 and 90. And yeah, we're gonna see some movement now for sure.
Yeah, and the beauty of Assiniboia too is when people choose to double up, right? I mean, some people will double up early. I tend to be more of a mind that bird. I like to double up late and make a late rush up the leaderboard. And so I think I did that a few weeks ago where I went from 51st to 5th in 2 races because I hit the exacta in the 7th and 8th or 6th and 7th race or something. But typically the smaller fields are early, so you are smarter to attack the earlier races from a game theory standpoint. But I just like to have something to cheer for late, I guess. So I do that a lot of times.
I know, because otherwise we always talk about the sweat, right? The sweat of, is your horse going to move you up or whatever? Otherwise, the sweat is are you going to hold on, or are people going to bump you out?
Yeah.
And I think the bump out is probably the worst feeling. But
terrible. I was sitting first at the at Pennsylvania Derby going into the last race, and I had a clunker in the last.
Really?
Race. Yeah,
oh.
yeah. I knew I didn't have a great horse. I had O'Brien, who was going to be speed, and I was just maybe. I was like, maybe hold on for 5th. Could we do that at least? And no. And I was like, all right. So, like I said, it's still up 10th, so it wasn't that bad.
But I would have told you must chill, and I love Frankie. I would tell him this to his face. It was a brutal ride. So, but you must choose a brutal trip, but
yeah.
So the jackpot pick 5 is currently at 542,400. So the pool is growing there. They are about to go into the gate, so you're running out of time. So in case all you got to do is click submit for your ticket for the pick 5, make sure that you are pretty much doing that because they're quickly loading in the gate here. I know we capped the crap out of the Parks card. But I missed the first horse in the first leg of the pick 5, but rolled, thankfully, where sometimes a successful roll doesn't happen, and we got the pick 4. So exciting times for Pennsylvania Derby. Okay, I guess I need to focus here. So they're almost all in the gate. The 7 horses in the gate. 8 Russian Pearl. The jockey is just adjusting a little bit, but she seems calm, quiet, and collected because she's just a classy gal. So she's going in the gate right now. Oops, 6 is not agreeing with something. Not agreeing at all. Not at all. Okay, we're good. They're all in the gate. They're quiet. This is the $40,000 Buffalo Stakes. Oh, wait, nope. We're shoving Russian Pearl in. She's classy.
Take us home.
Didn't want to go in.
Last call.
Cool. I just saw
Oh,
the
6 is
yeah.
dancing again. Nope. There we go. We got him. All right. Come on. All right. And they're off. The 5 is bouncing a little bit all over the place, but the 2 Prairie Drifter broke right out to the front. The 6 I Love My Life with Chow aboard is trying to get up there, but Russian Pearl is rushing to the front. Oh, I mean, you should know right there that that's a really good race call. All right, so 2 Prairie Drifter is still out front. Russian Pearl is way wide, though, unfortunately, and now settling back into the second position. So 6 with Chow. I Love My Life is sitting in third, but dueling a little bit with Mechanic Susie, the 5 horse. Then we've got the 7, Kentucky Jake, who is doomed apparently to Jacob. And then we have Valid Defense. And your closer is the 4, Endo. So 2 has settled down in front, setting the pace. Prairie Drifter, opening quarter of 23. Now we're at the half, 48. That's a quick quarter. Then we're back to Russian Pearl and 5. Mechanic Susie is moving up here, putting the pressure on Russian Pearl, taking off a little bit, and now is going to start put pressure on the first horse, Prairie Drifter. Prairie Drifter, who In had picked, but taken off. Doesn't seem like it's tiring at all. And then 4th place was still 6, I Love My Life. So Chow's got some work to do here. 8 is already being asked around the turn, but Prairie Drifter is still staying up front, looks strong. Russian Pearls, I don't know if she's going to get second here to Mechanic Susie, the 5 horse here. But there you go. Prairie Drifter, holy cannoli for In, who's in the live stream, picked a very clear winner. Russian Pearl, Mechanic Susie, I'm saying this wrong. Prairie Drifter, Mechanic Susie, Russian Pearl, and then the 6, I Love My Life. And yeah, that's my call. I'm sweating.
That was a good. I
Good
take
call.
personal issue with the ride on the 8. He was like standing up on her the whole time. What the heck?
I mean, like she was in the middle coming around the first turn, and she held on for third. I think if she would have been a little bit closer to the inside of the rail and had, a little bit less to do, you would have seen a much better ride from the 8. Mm-hmm. So Dennis has the bourbon sweats. I love how you just get called out. I know, but I love how you just get called out. Gonna be that was a very good race. Yeah, 2 Prairie Drifter. I know I messed that up with Russian Pearl, but holy, that great. And what was the price here? So 5-1. So you're paying $6,000 for Prairie Drifter, winning by how many lengths? I mean, quite a few.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Yeah, Cindy said 8 lengths. I think that's probably pretty close. So
thanks, Cindy. Yeah. So Mechanic Susie was a $3,000 horse, got up for second. Russian Pearl, obviously a bit pricier there. I was just a little bit of a fan favorite for me, but yeah, she was a little bit disappointing from her stable duel price. The 6 horse was very disappointing on a stable duel price. I Love My Life. So the Chow Wagon is now hitting the Oregon Trail and finding some disease at the moment. So
I was going to say, hopefully does not die of dysentery.
I can think of the other disease. 2.5 exacta. So Sean got it nicely done. Impressive. Poor Chow. I know. Yeah. Chow Wagon has lost a wheel. Just needs a little bit of a break.
But Danny, you were on that 2.5. You like those. You like those.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah. I mean, I saw them. I just I maybe looked. Cap the car, but I'm in now for next time. I'm gonna get my PPs out early and be better prepared. This was a last minute join.
Well, and you did a fantastic job, so we definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I I don't know. Matthew, I'm going to give it to you. Thank you for letting me call that one. I know that I'd stopped breathing like when they came around the last turn and just kept trying to get words out, but it was a fun race to call. I mean, Prairie Drifter was awesome. Paid $10.60. So anybody that bet that horse, people are always saying chalky for Assiniboine Outs. No, Prairie Drifter just paid $10.60. Mechanic Susie $5.60 for a place there. So you got some value. Got some value in this race, and well done to anyone who's tuning in and chose that horse.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bree, I liked the long in the stretch where it's like,
well, because I was trying to like get Russian Pearl to like get a little more kick, and she wasn't really getting in. And
no, I mean it's a great test though to see, you know, in terms of these horses stretching out, and you know the six just, and honestly the six, the race shape was kind of what I would think Chow wanted in that race, like not right on the lead, but clearly being on the lead is what you wanted. Just being able to be lone speed like the two was, and not being pressured really was the key. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought at one point Russian Pearl was just going to like start going to Calgary or something like that, going around the first turn. Just we're going somewhere else. Like she went so wide.
Well, like you all said too with the ride, when that horse went wide, it kind of made the two just be like, okay, I'm by myself. And it kind of really ruined the race.
Yeah. And again, it's easy to be, I don't know what couch jockeys or whatever it is.
Critical,
like you never know what happens. And then all of these races are pretty quick and short. And so, but yeah, I mean, I think if Russian Pearl had a little less to do very early on and settled, I think you would have potentially seen a little bit of a different finish. But hey, that's racing.
These are also young horses and taking turns. It takes time, you know. Some horses are better than that than others, so you know it's not all on the jockey. I mean, I can't recall Russian Pearl going that wide before in some races, but maybe she just has issues like that. So you know,
well, she did come from the 8 hole. She had to get across from all of those. There was bumping in the middle. You know, maybe that was avoiding anything that potentially could have gone on. You know, so I'm just mad that I didn't throw money on 2 Prairie Drifter. So I just need to listen to you from here on out.
I know. I have.
All right, guys.
But, oh well.
All right, guys. That's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for tuning. I know a lot of you guys have been here for every single Monday Night Lights. If you've been here for every single one, thank you. If you've been here for just this one or 2 or 3, either way, we appreciate you. Throw a like in the YouTube box. You know, that thing where thumbs up, throw a like, subscribe to Stable Duel. We don't do a ton of stuff, so you'll just be alerted for the good ones. And thank you to Danny for tuning in. Thank you for Dennis, well, not tuning in, for hosting. Thank you for Dennis for being on here as well. And Matthew, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good night. Good luck in your stable duels, and we'll see you when we see you.